Alright, so what's up? Quad Squad back at it with another one. 3D printed video. Yeah, back at it with another one. Alright, so this video is about my CR10 Smart. I did most of the filming a couple months ago, so I'm probably going to do an updated one sometime in the next month or two, and my direct drive conversion and stuff like that. But yeah, wanted to share it with you. And on a side note, I will be starting up my online website for selling things. It's going to be called quadsquad.com, and yeah, selling 3D printed stuff, other things, a whole bunch of cool stuff. So stay tuned for that. Anyways, let's hop right into it. Okay, so first just check that the bed is not loose. So try to wiggle it. Yeah. So maybe tighten the little two eccentric nuts on the side. So by the wheelies. So two of them are hexes.
You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, well, I don't wanna jinx it, baby, and twist myself at the spine. Don't wanna overthink it, baby. So just twist your body and mine.
I'm sure it's how in the video they don't portray a man assembling a fucking printer like this, do they? Okay, just put it in the head, and then it's so easy.
Yeah.
This is the right way. I was going, wait a minute. This is
Imagine that.
You're fired, Trey. You're fired. No more Printer Pro for you. We're almost there, right?
Exactly.
Install the touchscreen. This being, you know, a bit of a hell of a time. But this wasn't that bad. Although, I mean, we are pretty seasoned.
Yeah, we are seasoned professionals.
Give me a high and dry. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're gentle and wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh.
Alright, so CR10 Smart, my opinion, review of it. I really like this printer, and I'm not gonna lie. I mean, number one, it looks amazing. I mean, they styled it off of a race car design, which it looks really cool. It's got a really big build surface, 300 by 300. It's got dual lead screws, so it always keeps it from leaning. Like, I've got some printers that the one side leans because it doesn't have a dual. Besides that, auto bed leveling, you can't beat that. I know some people have problems with it, but personally, I haven't had much problems with it. I mean, I don't really print huge prints all the way to the corners, so maybe that's why I haven't experienced so much problems with it. But I mean, I use the most I ever use of it is like maybe 250 by 250. And at that level, I really never have any problems with it. When I first bought it, I had somebody run an auto bed living on it. Auto, like a print that shows you how level it is, and there was only one little part that didn't stick, but besides that, so I was happy with it. And then, yeah, besides that, I mean, it comes with a touchscreen. I'm a huge fan of touchscreens, especially if you're quadriplegic or have any mobility problems. The touchscreen, it's big, it's awesome, it's responsive. Gotta love car alarms. Alright, sorry, car alarm. Had to hop back into it. Anyway, so with the touchscreen, like I said, it's responsive. It's got a really great UI. Pretty straightforward and easy, at least if we're talking the stock firmware. When I first got it, I did a little update to it, and therefore then I was able to have a progress like circle that shows you how long it's been printing or how much left is to go, which I really like that about it. You can't beat that it's got Wi-Fi built into it. I mean, it's a Creality Wi-Fi box built into it. So I mean, there's some restrictions to it. It's not an Octoprint, but it gives you Wi-Fi right out of the box, which is really great, and it worked for me. Besides that, I mean, I love the extruder on it. I know everyone's like, oh, metal is better, but this plastic extruder, it's really easy to use. You flip it open, you stick it in, and the great thing about that is like my PSWs hate changing the filament, so this makes it really easy to change it, which I like. Comes with a filament sensor, that's also great. I don't actually ever really use it. I don't really run out of filament very often with this machine, but I've also got 2 other machines, so that might be the reason why. With that, yeah, I mean, it looks cool. It isn't an all metal hot end, but I mean, it's a good hot end. It works well. Besides that, it's got a big front drawer, which stores a lot of stuff. Besides that, it's a really stable, well-built frame, and it works really well. You also have some upgradability with like printing 3D printed parts to like basically put on the side and stuff. I put like a RAM ball, for like mounting stuff to your wheelchair on the side of it, printed it so that I can mount my Octoprint on it, because I eventually unplugged the Creality Wi-Fi box and upgraded it to the Octoprint, which it runs well. At first I had a little bit of problems, but I mean, and right now it works flawlessly. And yeah, I mean, altogether it's a really, really great printer. It prints really well. Like right out the box, PLA prints stuff great, no problems there. PETG, it took a little bit of fine tuning just with any printer with PETG. And with that, I did some upgrades to it, as you can probably see. I put a PEI flex plate on it. One side's textured, one side's just flat PEI. That's my favorite build surface. That's always my first recommendation for upgrades. Besides that, I put a light on it so that it has some light. This printer also does come with a light right in the side of it over here, but it really is not very good. Like, it really doesn't do anything. It's a cool idea to have it over here, but it really doesn't shine far enough to actually illuminate the print. But it's cool that it has it. Good idea. Maybe just put a more high quality light in it next time, Creality. And stuff like that. I mean, the filament mount is on the side of the printer. I eventually put it to the top of the printer. I 3D printed something. This is prior to making this enclosure that is not actually an enclosure. So I've since took that off and just put the filament on the top of it, and etc. I mean, and I also 3D printed these upgrades for the covers for the side of the thing. I like that it comes with a glass plate, and it has these little filament hold, the bed clips that actually are mounted to the printer, and you just swing it in to hold the glass, and you swing it out to release a glass, which comes in handy. It's pretty cool. It's also got belt tensioners on the bed and on the side on the X and Y. It's also the rail system for the bed. There's 2 rails versus just one in the middle, which is also really great, keeps it stable. And yeah, like I said, I love the auto leveling on it. Works well for me. I love that there's no knobs that I have to screw around with. Because sometimes with Creality products that can be a pain in the butt. At least it was with my Ender 3 V2. And all in all, it's a great printer. I mean, yeah, I mean, I wish it came with a all metal hot end and stuff like that. But yeah. So I mean, if I forget of anything, I'll add a little clip after this before I take you into up close and personal with the printer. I mean, I upgraded the firmware on it. I won't really go into that right now. I mean, if you want me to do an extra video on that, let me know. It's First Layer by Insanity Automation's firmware. It's a good firmware. It's got its quirks. I'm looking to see if there's an update on it because I'm not so happy with it right now. But anyways, alright, so before I hop into the downsides of this printer, 2 last things. Number 1, the printer is really silent. It's really quiet. I really like that about it. Number 2, I really like that on the UI, you can actually move the bed by typing in a number, or basically, because I want the bed to come to me. I don't want to have to grab it when it's hot and pull it forward, or have to like 3D print a handle. The bed moves, so why not just have it so you type in a number, which this really achieves that. So for accessibility reasons, I like that I can go into settings and go move bed and then press here, and then it brings up a keypad. You press in 260 and the bed comes to you. You know what I mean? I'm not at a great angle, so I'm not going to do it. But I love that about it. It's just super accessible. It just comes to me and I can pull off the print. And it's, yeah, awesome. So now, the downsides of this printer that I'm not a fan of. Number 1, that there's a power button besides the power button. I just don't feel like it's really necessary. I understand you guys put into this printer the ability that the printer will turn itself off to power save. Okay, in certain situations, people may benefit that. And if that benefits you, then that's that. It also dims the screen or whatever, or just shuts off. See, for me, accessibility-wise, that button's not the easiest to get to, you know? Like, I mean, there's the power button in the back, beside the plug, but then there's another power button on the side that first you have to turn that on and then you have to turn this on. And sometimes when you need to restart it, you have to turn it on from there. So it defeats the purpose, especially because I use smart plugs to turn my printers on and off if I need to reset it. So with this I have to use the button, which I'm not a fan of. But that might not apply to you, but anyways. So besides that, opening the bottom of the printer, there's so many screws. Like, it doesn't take much time to change from the Wi-Fi box to Octoprint, but the thing that takes the most time is so many screws on the bottom. Like, there's so many. I feel like it's unnecessary amount, but it is what it is. So don't account 15 minutes, account 30 minutes, just because it takes 15 minutes to take out the screws and put them back in. Anyways, besides that, I wish that there was a way to make it so you could either use the Wi-Fi box or use the Octoprint. That would be really, really useful, but they don't make that easy. Like, you literally have to take off the bottom and unplug and plug in to make it so that you can use one or the other. I'm not a fan of that. They don't make it easy to do that, but the whole point of this is that you don't have to do that, so may not apply to you. But anyways, besides that, the USB on the side of it is pretty useless because it's only to be used with a Creality webcam, which, it's a little pricey. You should be able to use any webcam, but if you can't, I don't know, it's just useless to me because I don't use a Creality webcam. At one point I did plug a little USB light into it, then I made use of it. But besides that, the light's not really bright. It's basically kind of, it's like, it's more of like an aesthetic. It's more for design, but it's not really functionable. Besides that, I mean, I don't like the side spool holder, because the other thing, it's really big. It's a really big printer. I mean, for 300 by 300 by 4, it's a really big printer. Just like lengthwise, mostly. So I mean, putting a spool holder on the side just makes it even bigger and makes it take up even more space. So I think they should have gone with a top mount. But I mean, end of the day, that's just my opinion. And yeah, I mean, it's a big printer. I mean, if just account for how big it is. If you're looking to put it in a certain spot, account for that. Because I traded it and it wouldn't fit on my printer table. Anyways, but yeah, so that's it. That's my downsides. The upsides outweigh the downsides. It's a great printer. I really, really like it. I don't really need this big of a printer, but I mean, it works. And it fits on an IKEA lac table. As you can see, it's a lac enclosure without the enclosure. Anyways, so let's hop into the up close and personal. Sorry for taking so long. Alright, so here's the beast. Boom. Here's the cool looking hot end head. Looks like a Lamborghini or something. Goes up there. There's the extruder. I'll try to get a better angle over there. There's the little light that is very useless. Here's the bed that I'm using. It's a PEI bed. Here's the little upgrades I put on the sides. Alright, here's the extruder setup. That's that little flip open extruder. There's the filament sensor. Here's where the cabling goes in. It actually has one cable that goes to the hot end. Connects down there. Here's the side filament holder that I don't really use. I like the cable management. They've done it really well. Up there is my filament right now, because my enclosure. And yeah, that's the back of it. Cool rate Z-rods. They're over there. The other one's over there. I mean, you know what that looks like. But anyways, so yeah, there's the back of it. Here's the front of it, and the slick things. This firmware looks kind of similar, but not really. Anyways, I can go into that in another video. It just make this video too long. It's got like a light sensor end stop, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I mean, there's not too much more I can show you about it. It's really cool looking. It works really well. Double bars, tensioner, full-sized SD card slot. It's got a big drawer here. Comes with a sticker. Bright screen. I route the USB cabling out the side. It's going to be kind of upside down. Here's that power button that I'm talking about. And the USB is no longer there because I had to use it to route out the cable. But besides, when you unplug the Wi-Fi box, the USB is really useless because it is connected to the Wi-Fi box. Anyways, that's the back. Alright, so thanks for tuning in, and thanks for staying to the end. If you stayed to the end, I hope you appreciate the input and my opinions on all this stuff. If you guys want to leave some comments down in the comment section, let me know what you might want to see next. Like if you want to see my review on a P1P, or my more upgrades on my Neptune 2D, or my other printers, you know, and or just be like, hey, thanks for the video, you know, I took something from it. I'd love to hear from you guys. Anyways, so that's that, you know. I mean, and on a side note, if you want to check out my other videos, yeah, I'm quadriplegic, broke my neck snowboarding, but I don't let that limit me. I keep living life to the fullest, and that's what I do if you want to check out my other videos. Anyways, thanks for coming. Peace.